Hello everyone, today I'm going to take a closer look into BTS and cultural appreciation. K-pop is notorious for being culture vultures, often getting called out for cultural appropriation, for borrowing aesthetics, mixing symbols with minimal understanding, or using sacred imagery just for visual. But BTS somehow managed to do the opposite. So, in this video, we're going to unpack how BTS pulled this off, how they transform cultural influences and make it appreciation instead of appropriation, and why that difference actually matters. As always, I will be using examples of other K-pop groups to highlight how BTS approach other cultures differently. But this is not about hating on any group. It is a critique of how some K-pop companies handle cultural elements without proper research. And yes, I'm an ARMY. My name and profile picture probably give that away, but that's not why I'm simply praising BTS. Their work is why I became an ARMY. Also, many idols I'll mention don't have much creative control over their comebacks like BTS do, so the responsibility mainly falls on their companies. Before we get into the video, I want to quickly tell you about my digital K-pop scrapbook. 15 pages of fun prompts to draw a journal and document your favorite K-pop groups and memories. If you get it now, you get 2 extra pages for free, just for a limited time. It is honestly so much fun and so versatile. I'll leave a link in the description, or you can go to this link on the page right now to get it yourself. Okay, let's get back into the video. BTS's music videos have been studied by classicists, literature professors, and psychologists, and their lyrics have been translated into several languages by armies. Their global impact has reached a lot of people from different cultures. So, this video is to show how BTS integrate global influences into their art in ways that honor the source material and deepen the narrative. Before we begin, let's clarify the difference between appropriation and appreciation. It's not always obvious. Both involve borrowing from another culture, but appreciation requires research, collaboration, credit, and respect, while appropriation is usually more shallow. Artists cherry-pick the parts they find appealing while ignoring or even mocking the rest. Appropriation can perpetuate stereotypes and disrespect sacred traditions. Appreciation, on the other hand, means learning about a culture, working with its people, acknowledging their influence, and using those elements to build understanding, rather than profiting from exoticism. It's about celebrating meaning, not reducing it to aesthetics. Cultural appropriation in K-pop is not new. It's been a recurring issue that keeps resurfacing every few months. From music videos to stage performances, many groups have borrowed cultural symbols or aesthetics without understanding their meaning, turning sacred imagery and traditions into backdrops for a visual. NCT U did this in Make-A-Wish, when they performed in front of and heavily featured Islamic architecture, without taking the time to understand what they were using, which is deeply inappropriate. This lack of awareness showed again when their stylist called this headscarf a turban and said they added curls to keep it from looking, quote, too dull. Another notable example is Blackpink for How You Like That, where they seemingly interchangeably blend Indian and Arabic elements, as if they were one and the same. The song features a Middle Eastern-style guitar riff, and you can confirm that from the sample they use, and Lisa walks through a stereotypical Arabian marketplace filled with lanterns, woven baskets, beaded curtains, and even a genie's lamp, suggesting a strong Middle Eastern theme. But then they randomly mix in South Asian elements, specifically Indian elements such as the necklaces Lisa's wearing and the literal Hindu god statue placed at her feet, which sparked major controversy and revealed a lack of proper research. On top of that, Lisa also wore grills, a style rooted in African-American hip-hop culture. Borrowing aesthetic elements from different cultures and just cherry-picking the parts you want and then presenting them as interchangeable is textbook cultural appropriation. And disrespecting another religion in the process only makes it worse. Some other examples include G-Idol performing in front of a mosque backdrop, whatever they were doing in this music video from Momoland, Kiss of Life's hip-hop themed livestream, and countless others. For a lot of these cases, the issue isn't using elements from another culture. Most people actually love when others appreciate and take part in their traditions. The problem comes when it's done carelessly, without research, without respect, just cherry-picking what looks aesthetic while ignoring and even mocking the rest. These situations all show the same thing: a lack of understanding and a lack of education. You see, making mistakes is not the problem, but refusing to learn from them definitely is, and this is definitely a repeated pattern in K-pop. BTS are not exempt from this either. They started out as a hip hop group and early on borrowed elements of hip hop and black culture without fully understanding what was okay to adopt and what wasn't. The difference, however, is that they learned. Over time, they developed a genuine respect and understanding for hip hop and its roots, continuously educating themselves at every turn, and that growth is what led to their music becoming what it is today.
정의하기 굉장히 어려운 것 같아요. 사우스 프랑스에서 파티로 시작해서 MC들이 중간에 춤을 추다가 브레이크를 넣고 거기다가 랩을 넣기 한두 마디씩 호응을 돋구는 그런 후렴을 넣으면서 힙 앤 합 이렇게 춤출 수 있게 굉장히 사실 작은 파티에서 시작된 문화고 음악으로서의 힙합, 문화로서의 힙합, 정신으로서의 힙합 굉장히 사랑이라는 말처럼 굉장히 다양한 표정과 언어를 내포하고 있는 말이라고 생각합니다. 그래서 감히 저희가 힙합이 어떻다라고 정의할 수는 없을 것 같고요. 저희에게 힙합이라는 것은 그냥 저희가 너무 좋아하고 사랑하고 저희가 연습생 때부터 계속 듣고 서로 보컬 친구들도 그 음악을 들었었고요. 그 랩을 하기도 했었고 그래서 그냥 저희가 사랑하고 아껴온 장르라고 저는 그렇게 얘기하고 싶습니다.
BTS's discography reveals a pattern. They rarely use another culture's aesthetics without context, research, reading literature, studying art, consulting experts, and sometimes working with artists from the culture in question. They then fuse their own artistry, experience, and culture into it, creating a new body of work that not only pays homage to other cultures, their traditions, and myths, but also stays true to themselves and their individual state of minds and experiences. And that line to walk is much easier said than done. In Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the video opens with the members wandering through a lavish museum. The visuals reference Peter Bruegel's The Fall of the Rebel Angels, Michelangelo's Pieta, and Da Vinci's The Last Supper, each depicting temptation, sin, and redemption. Towards the end, Jin kisses a winged statue, possibly symbolizing the fallen angel, and Jin cracks hard, showing he's cracked under temptation. Combined with the lyrics, the scene transforms a pop song into an allegory of desire and lost innocence, using religious imagery that's studied and symbolic, not just aesthetic. The music video also features Herbert James Draper's The Lament for Icarus, mirrored by Jungkook levitating with feathers, a nod to the myth's warning about ambition and downfall. During a press conference, Arm explained that Blood, Sweat, and Tears explores temptation and growth and emphasized that the Christian and mythological imagery represents inner conflict, citing Hermann Hesse's Damien as a major influence. Quotes from the book appear in the interlude, tying into themes of self-realization, so obviously a lot of research went into it. Another example of cultural appreciation is Idol. Idol is about self-identity and cultural pride. The music video features the members in Ankara suits, a fabric associated with West African fashion. The cultural critic site Just That Color notes that the choreography includes the South African Gwara Gwara and the Nigerian Shaku Shaku. There is also a dancer in a costume very similar to that seen in West African masquerades, such as the Senegalese kankurang. Idol still does not lose sight of BTS's own heritage, because in the same video the members also wear hanbok-inspired outfits and perform moves from the Bongsan Talchum, which is a Korean traditional dance. This fusion with a self-love anthem is a masterclass of celebrating multiculturalism. Their song Dionysus was named after the Greek god of wine and theater. In A New Dionysus Greek Myth in the Music of BTS, classicists note that at the 2019 Melon Music Awards, each member represented a Greek god, culminating in a ritual-like performance inspired by the ancient Dionysia. The lyrics of Dionysus layer Greek myth with Korean cultural motifs, and the chorus repeats drink, drink, drink as the members boast about creating art that intoxicates. In Chicken Noodle Soup, J-Hope collaborated with American-Mexican artist Becky G to remake the early 2000s hit. He explained that he grew up dancing to the original and wanted to honor its roots. This trilingual version features Korean, English, and Spanish, and earned praise from the original artist Bianca Bonney, and it celebrates hip-hop's Harlem roots and Latinx influences, rather than co-opting them. Some other examples include Suga's Daechita, which blends traditional Korean elements with hip hop. Airplane Part 2, that was made in collaboration with musicians who have made other Latin pop hits. They've also explored the works of Swiss psychologist Carl Jung for their Map of the Soul series, and they are obviously known for their massive hip hop discography as well. Research and education. BTS are nothing if not thorough. Members often cite reading books, visiting museums, and studying history for their projects, especially RM. Their use of Hesi's Damien, Greek myths, and Jungian psychology indicates deep engagement with their source material. This is done so well that they have been commended by experts several times. You can see the amount of effort they put into their projects and therefore the amount of respect they have for it. Collaboration and credit. They ensure original creators are credited. They never pretend to invent these cultural aspects as if they were trends, and work with people from diverse backgrounds and with diverse experiences. Fusion rather than isolated use. BTS blend cultural elements rather than extract them for aesthetic use. Idol combines Afrobeat with Korean traditional instruments. Similarly, Dionysus merges Greek myth with Korean folk instruments. Daechita fuses historic traditional Korean music with hip hop. These fusions create new art that honors all components. Narrative integration. Borrowed elements serve the story. For example, the paintings in Blood, Sweat, and Tears aren't just there for aesthetic purpose, but illustrate temptation and fall. The reference to Greek myth in Dionysus reflects the intoxicating power of performance and spectacle. Nothing is used solely for aesthetic appeal. Each reference deepens thematic understanding. Respect for sacredness. BTS avoid placing religious icons in disrespectful contexts. This again comes from their very thorough research where they make sure to address the cultures they are referencing with respect and care. Their classical references usually come from mythology and historical art rather than current practicing religions. When they do borrow from living cultures, they stay respectful, for example, using African dances as celebration rather than parodying them for a joke. They do not pick and choose what to use for aesthetics and then turn around and mock the other aspects like many other idols have done. And finally, responsiveness and growth. BTS have acknowledged their mistakes and shown growth, while other K-pop groups don't even mention it, and let their fans either bury it or combat it with vile ignorance. This responsiveness fosters trust and shows that appreciation is an ongoing commitment. Through deliberate research, collaboration, narrative integration, and respect for sources, BTS transform borrowed elements into meaningful art. Cultural appreciation requires more than just aesthetic admiration. I think BTS should be an inspiration in this aspect since we all know every K-pop company is trying to recreate the BTS formula anyway. Maybe they should try recreating this as well. I think fans from around the world would really appreciate their cultures and experiences being respected. That is all for this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this in-depth breakdown on cultural appreciation. Comment below some other examples you've noticed in BTS songs or your favorite ones. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one.